We're going to get the advent of Ascension mod, which adds tons of tools, swords and armor. Guns, cannons, weapons, stuffs, sabers, ores, snipers and more. Lots of cool stuff. On this channel, we'll mainly focus on the ores. We'll cover dimensions, how to enter them, and what's in each one, the main bosses too, and what you need to start playing the mod. So let's see how to get it. Click the link in the description, go to Files, then Mod Loader, select Forge, and note that most versions are in beta. Usually a beta version isn't really beta. They label it beta to avoid responsibility if issues arise, but this isn't the case here. It's genuinely in beta. So, as of October 30th, 2024, we need version 1, 16.5 at the latest. Click the 3 buttons, hit get file, and save it in the Minecraft folder. Type % in the search, go to Minecraft, then to the mods folder, no mods folder. Right click, new folder, name it mod. Here you see I have AO3 and a bunch of other mods. What mods do you need to make AO3 work? Well, if we check relations, we see it works alone. So theoretically it works by itself. I'll leave my mod list here if you want to copy it. That's how you can get this mod here. One of the main features of this mod, which you could call an exploration mod, obviously, and also a character growth mod, right? It has an interface where you can open Advent of Ascension. Here you'll see my stats, speed, extraction, basically looting, farming, fishing, and health. Here we have the info on different bestiaries I've found. The bestiary shows mobs I've fought. Here's the lore. To unlock it, you need the patchouli mod. There's a leaderboard, not working, and a help section with the official wiki link, which is pretty handy. Patreon itself. So how can we access this info and what I have up here? Up here, I have info, which is basically the stamina. Let's see if I use it. I'll switch to survival mode. There it is. As you can see, I've used it. Now let's go to escape, then options, then controls. In controls, we'll find some settings. Usually it's set to V, delete, and O. I've set 6, 7, 8, 9. They're unassigned. As you can see, it says AO3K. This way we can hide info and open the menu. It's that simple. How do you improve stats? We could go deeper, but basically to improve running stats, just run. To improve extraction stats, just extract. You can click on them to see all the information. How can we improve our stats? Alright, we have our stats menu that we can open. As you can see, I'm level 100 here. I believe the maximum level for each stat is 1000 for each of these stats. We can use a command, okay? I'm using A or skills here. And let's say we want to change dexterity. We'll set the level using set, not at. If I try 9999, it won't let me. Let's try 100. The max is 1000. At 1001, it says there's no such level. Now, if I open the menu, you'll see I'm at max level. How do we know we're at max level? It's surrounded by gold. As you can see, there are 2 numbers. The right one shows our current level. The left one is gold. You won't have the left number. Well, I mean, if you've just started playing, you won't have it. Why does it appear? Well, when you reach level 100 in a skill, let's take fishing as an example, okay? Click on it and you'll see the at cycle part here. This happens right when you hit level 100. Then you click here if you're sure you want to add a cycle, and you set it to cycle 2. As you can see, I've just lost all fishing levels and benefit. You might think I've just wasted 100 levels. But no, because what does each cycle do? Each cycle boosts the experience gain from skill activities by 300%. For example, to improve dexterity, you basically need to walk, move around, run. Got it? So, if I got 1 XP per block walked before, after the first cycle, I'd get 3 XP. From the 10th cycle, which is the max, there are up to 10 cycles, giving 30 XP per block. That's how the other skills work too. As you can see, we gain skill XP by walking, mining, extracting minerals, and similar activity. Farming involves cultivating crops and doing various farmer tasks. Fishing is pretty self-explanatory. And then there's invigoration, which I assume is based on regenerating health, dashing, dodging, attacking mobs, and so on. I guess that's how it works. As you play, you'll notice these skills improving over time. Important note, there are more skills besides the ones I have. For some reason, they're not showing up for me. Maybe I'm missing a patch or update. Not sure if it's a bug or what. Well, I should inform you that some skills can't really be improved. As you see, it lists 5 trainable skills I mentioned, and 5 that can't be trained. Here they are on the wiki with all the details explained. The other 5 are basically artifice, creation, foundancy, and a couple more which I might get wrong. Alchemy. That's it. And in buying, apparently. So I felt I should let you know about that. How do you get a warm book? Basically, the warm book is very useful if we want to start entering different dimensions. To get the warm book, we need to know that it can't be crafted. It's given by the corrupted traveler, this guy here. You might ask, cool, but where do we find this guy? He's found in ruin portal frame. Let's use /locate to find one ruin. I assume it's teleporter frame. Okay, there it is. Here's one that spawned nearby. I'm not sure if this is bait, but it's to show you what they look like. I assume they're not too rare, because this is where the mod starts. To begin the mod, it's literally this structure here. You'll spawn in this structure. The traveler should be here. You must collect the ancient rock. It's mandatory to pick it up. That's it. The guy should be here. Ah, okay. He didn't spawn for me because I have mobs spawning. Sorry, I don't have it on, but he didn't appear. Okay, so this guy will basically ask for a bunch of random stuff, alright? Different foods. He just asked for salmon. I'll grab it. Not sure if he wants it raw or what. He'll ask for one of each, okay? As you give him food, he'll eat it. Eventually, he'll give you the worm book like he just did. See, you don't need to give him everything. Just keep feeding. At some point, he'll give you the worm book like he did for me. That's how you get this book. So to get a blank runestone, what we need is a one book. As I mentioned, you go to the ruined portal frame. You'll find a ruined portal frame there. You'll meet this guy and you give him the food he asks for. He asked me for a spider eye. So I grabbed one, bam. And he gave me the one book. The one book, basically, if you're in survival mode, when you open it, it automatically gives you the blank runestone as we're seeing. Got it? With the blank runestone, as we can see, if we right click, we can view info on different dimensions and how to enter each one. So yeah, that's how we can obtain this item. Now that we've got the blank ramstein, how do we create a portal to access a dimension? From Advents of Adventures, we'll need Ancient Rock, which is found in the Portal Frame Ruin, where it's called the Teleporter Frame Ruin. That's where we'll find the Corrupt Traveler, who gives us the book. Opening it gets us the blank ramstein. So, we need to get this element, exactly 13 blocks in total. We'll need 4 runes, the Travel Rune, Space Rune, Reality Rune, and Direction Rune. These 4 runes are found exploring the overworld, mainly in chests. They're loot that just appears in chests. Simple as that. Lastly, we have the Recovered Rune of Power. We won't find this one. We have to craft it. It's crafted using Empowered Runes, Ancient Rock, Eye of Ender, and, well, the Empowered Rune is crafted with Runium, an ore found in the overworld. Pretty simple. So how do we make the portal? Alright, let's do this. Here we go. The power rune must be in the center, no exception. We'll put ancient here, 2 on each side, and place the rune. We need 1 of each rune, then we'll build up 3 blocks high on each side and connect them. It has to be 4 by 3. Now we'll take a charged realm stone to charge our blank realm stone. Right click. It says Precasia. Combine with an overworld sapling from any sapling type. Once done, you'll get the Precasia realm stone. Right click and bam, portal created. Cool, right? To break or change portals, just use another realm stone like Crevia, and that's how it's done. How do we enter the abyss dimension? For this, we'll need an abyss realm stone. I've already explained how to get the blank realm stone. So what we need to do is simply right click. Let's find the abyss region in the nether section on the right. It says spawn a wither in the nether. It's that simple. Basically, you take boom wither, wither's skull, you grab soul sand, a small nether portal here we get. With our blank realm stone, we're just going to take pay attention. I think it has to be in the nether. So let's go there, we spawn a wither, and there's our abyss realm stone. As we can see, it charges automatically. Once we have this item charged, what we do is create a portal. You know, the 4 runes, the center rune must be the power rune, and everything else from the ancient rock portal. Right click on the portal and you'll enter the abyss. The dimension looks like this. I could remove the shaders to show it. As you can see, it's quite dark. Some structures we can find include the abyssal lotus here, the eye bulb, and the eye bulb crack. It's a dimension based on the nether, and we'd find a temple, a dungeon, which is this element here. We'd also find a tree illusion, which is a giant tree with the elusive boss. You can find it around here. We'd also find a Yayawi hat, this structure here. Finally, we have the Shadow Lord platform, which is where the Shadow Lord boss spawns. Besides these, we have mobs like Anemia, Paritium, Bloodsucker, Distorter, Fiend, Flesh Eater, Yaoi, Oculent, and Web. This is where all these mobs would appear. For NPCs, we have the Abyssal, Lotus Man, and Undead Herald. They won't harm us, hence they're called End. The bosses are Elusive and Shadow. Let's enter the Greckon dimension. For this, as always, we'll need our portal ready and the Greckon Realm Stone. To get this item, we need a blank Realm Stone in our inventory and use Nightmare Flake, which is basically Nightmare. It's this element, an unelusive. The elusive is this mob here. This will turn it into a Greckon Realm Stone. We need to catch an elusive, which is this guy here. If I remember right, it's an abyss bot. There it is. It's an abyss bot from the dimension before the one we need to act. Right clicking shows we must enter abyss before Greckon. We take Nightmare Flakes, right click on the guy, bam, and we have our Greckon. So we now have this item. Then we enter, and as we can see, here's the dimension. What does the Greckon dimension add? Well, to give you an overview, we have many different blocks and some ores we'll explore later. The structures include a haunted dungeon, a maze, a tree, and a floating rock with silver coins, copper coins, and a haunted Lotterman mob. There's an insane number of hostile mobs here. All of these are hostile and quite creepy. We have these 2 NPCs, and for bosses, we have the Bane. So that's everything about this dimension. How do we enter the Dustopia dimension? Well, to enter this dimension, as you can see, we first need to access the abyss, and it basically tells us to summon a Shadow Lord while having night vision activated. So we should take a potion of night vision and spawn the Shadow Lord. The Shadow Lord is this guy here who's a boss. I'm spawning bosses here like they can't wreck everything. But anyway, it's a boss that spawns in the Abyss. The Abyss is this dimension here, which is the previous one. Let me show you. It's this one here, and basically in the Abyss, as we can see, we have the Shadow Lord boss that spawns using a Book of Shadows on a shadow altar. So what's this Dustopia dimension like? There doesn't seem to be much info here. This is the Dreamstone. There is information. The dimension is black and white as we're seeing, and what we find beyond any specific objective are all these structures where we encounter various mobs and different objectives to fight. Finally, this would be a list of mobs we can find. As you can see, everything is quite black oriented. There are quite a few NPCs, some for trading as we see here, and finally we'll find the boss, which is the Primordial Fief, which is this boss here. And that's how this dimension works. How do you enter the Shyrelands? For that, we'd need a Shyrelands realmstone. If we press R, we'd see all the info about the items we need to enter this dimension, like Darkly Power, Bloodstone, Glowstone, Haunted Flower, and a magic mending solution to craft the realmstone. If we check the wiki, we can find info on how to get each item for the Shyrelands realmstone. Making a video for each item is overkill. I make videos on everything, but that's too much. Darkly Power drops from mobs, likely in dimensions like Greckon and Dustopia. Bloodstone is found in the Abyss, and Haunted Flower is in Greckon, this dimension here. The magic mending solution is crafted using a lava bucket, a metal tube, and 3 magic repair dust. The metal tube is made with an Emberstone ingot, and magic repair dust drops from mobs. These mobs are from the nether, but they're basically boss. You need to defeat the nether boss. Got it? Great, so enter this dimension in the Shyrelands. It's like taking down 3 bosses, literally. The Shyrelands is this dimension here. It's described as a brilliant dimension. Let's get to the point. What kinds of structures can we find? There's the Archer Outpost, which is basically like a Pillager Outpost, a Create Statue, Divine Ritual Temple, and a Luxocron Dungeon. Obviously, each of these has its own mobs. It says Generate on the surface here. They're vague on details, but each has unique mobs. We'll definitely come across these structures. And here we have even more structures. Look at all these structures at the end. These are all the mobs. There's a ton of mobs, as we can see. There are a few NPCs. And finally, there's the boss, Crexus. It spawns with an Elder Ring and a Crexus altar. So that's everything about this dimension. How do you access the Lelyetia dimension? To enter this dimension, we're told to jump from a height of 26 blocks or more. That's literally what we need to do. This turns our Blanc Realm Stone into a Lelyetia Realm Stone. We create our portal, and that's how we can access this dimension. Besides its unique ore, this dimension has various structures with different mobs and enemies. I'll show you some structures so you can get an idea of what the dimension looks like. There aren't many, just 5 structures in total. There are mobs, the dimension has an orange hue, lighting, NPC, and a boss called Growl. So that's everything about this dimension. How do you enter Celebe's dimension? To enter this dimension, we first need to have entered Lelyetia's dimension, okay? As you can see, once we've entered Lelyetia's dimension, we can access Celebe. Here in Celebe's, it tells us to kill a Lelyetian warrior with a firework. You might think, cool, what's a Lelyetian warrior? Well, let's go find one. It's this mob here. Oh, sorry. It's this mob here. It spawns naturally, as it says here. We'll literally find it out there. Let's see if I can spawn one. And it's this guy here. I don't really get how to kill it with a firework. Let's see. Honestly, I don't understand why we need to kill it with a firework, but okay. I guess a crossbow or something. Some silly thing. Yeah, let's see. Well, I don't know, honestly. So I know you need to craft the most advanced fireworks, the strongest level 3 ones that explode and all that. Okay. You'll have to use those. I think you combine a firework with a firework star. I'm a Beatrock player, so I'm not too familiar with this stuff. I won't lie. Once you kill the mob with a firework, you'll access the CLB dimension. So what's in the CLB dimension, you might be wondering? Don't worry. In the CLB dimension, there are these structures first. Well, not that many. Only 2. That's surprising. Just 2 structures. As you can see, the CLB dimension doesn't seem too big, right? I mean, let's see. Island or what? No. Oh, it is big. Okay. Well, they forgot to add structures here then. There are more than they show. It shows the toy tower and the Celeve. Assuming I'm in the right dimension, right? I thought this looked different, man. This is the CLB dimension. Here we go. This is more familiar. More like what I expected. So, anyway, we have 2 structures here. The Celebian Lotto Balloon and toy tower. We have all this. As you can see, it's a clown dimension. All enemy mobs are clowns. And of course, the boss is a twist. Also a clown. So, yeah. This is what we can find in this dimension. How do you enter the Haven dimension? Basically, to enter the dimension, we need a Haven realmstone. I'm trying to find the portal. There it is. To get this Haven, we should have accessed Lelyetia first. Haven tells us to kill a fly with melee while we're in the Lelyetian trees. In the Lelyetia dimension, these bugs will spawn. They tend to float upwards, so they tell you to kill one while at a treetop. Once you kill it, the Haven realmstone charges, and you enter Haven. What the heck is in this dimension? We find various structures, each with different mobs. As we can see, there's only a mountain and a tower. This tower seems interesting and hosts the 4 Guardian boss fight. So there's a battle here. Well, these are the mobs. Only spirit guardians and protectors are hostile. Remember, it's Haven and paradise after all. There are unicorns, halcyon, everything. And well, as for voices, just what I said. 4 guardians and the rock rider. So that's all about Haven. Let's explain a bit about the Lunalus dimension and how to enter it. To enter this dimension, we first need its realmstone. You get the realmstone after accessing the dimension via Celeve and Haven's Lelyetia, and finally reaching Lunalus, where it tells us to jump over the void in Haven dimension with a gravitator. Let's see, a gravitator. This item defies gravity. This item, pay attention to how to get it. We'll see it now. You obtain it by trading with the toy merchant, and the toy merchant is, if we need to do this in Haven, the toy merchant is in Celeve. The toy merchant is this guy here. Super handsome, super attractive. Right click him, trade coins, and do his deals to get the gravitator. The gravitator seems to be, let's see, that effectively gives low fall. So once we make this jump, we'll get the Lunalus, which basically takes, I'll enter the dimension. Oh, I thought Minecraft had frozen. It's clearly designed for use with the Hydras or the Gravitator. As you can see, the jump seems to be modified here. Let's see. There are ores, well, literally diamonds. It appears to be a somewhat dangerous dimension. At first glance, there doesn't seem to be much. So let's see what it has. We're going to generations here. As you can see, it has all types of ore, even amethyst ore, which doesn't exist. For structures, we have an infested asteroid with bomb and reflux spawners, a lunar oasis, different asteroids, a standard Lotto Man, which is a Lotto Man tavern, a prison camp with citizens and spawners for inmate X and Y. The Thal ship, where the interesting structure is, has various things to explore. It shows us some features and interesting additions here. Here are the mobs, our buddies, and NPCs we can interact with. Finally, there's the boss, Shyrelands. So that's everything about this dimension. How do you enter the Deeplands dimension? You enter this dimension using the Deeplands realmstone, which if we right click on a blank realmstone, tells us what we need to do. Mine an ore block below the bedrock level. Got it? So once we've done that, well, to be precise, it's more at the bedrock level, okay? You take our ore, put it in a portal and enter the Deeplands. You might ask, what's in the Deeplands? What structures can we find there? What should we expect to see? Well, as we've seen, the Deeplands has various rock structures. At first glance, it seems to be a dimension of arachnids, right? Spiders, basically. Here we'd find an arachnid cave, arachnids, a charging steams, okay? With a charging table, a deep lotto shelter, a craw cave, and here we have some mobs. As you can see, they're all related to arthropods, especially spiders, crabs, that sort of thing. Finally, there's a boss called the craw. That's about it for what we know about the deep. How does the Crevia dimension work? How do you enter it? This is basically your realm stone. I'm trying to find the portal here. Basically, Crevia is a dimension we can only enter after accessing the Deeplands first, meaning we need to have been to a previous dimension and use a deep crystal on a case construct to get there. Let's access Crevia. The deep crystal, there it is. Sorry, we've found the Deeplands. Perfect. And the case construct is this mob. Grab the case construct. Right click gives you the Crevia realm. Seems to be a path. Once you have this realm stone, you can access the Crevia dimension. What will we find in Crevia? We'll find structures like a crystal extension station. Theoretically, it had started. Well, I thought it started, but there's no end. Let's check out the trading post with the trader. Power state, crystal lot. These are some of the mobs. As you can see, they're quite portal-like, if that's a word. There's NPCs like the crystal trader, and finally the boss, Crystal. So that's how we can access this dimension. Let's enter the barren dimension. You access this dimension with the blank realm stone. It's this one we find here. Basically, it tells us to kill a husk with a blank realm stone. You just grab it and kill it with a left click. Then we'd basically enter the barren dimension. And in the barren dimension, what can we find? At first glance, we see structures that break the world's generation pattern, but I'll show you what you can expect from this dimension. We'd find the scythe nest, which is what we've been seeing. Sand barrens, a barren house, a barren castle. Obviously, all structures have their own mobs, loot, etc. As for mobs, we'd have some interesting hostile ones, like an arcback cryptic echodar, an emperor bee. We find many hostile mobs with different models. Finally, we'd encounter 2 bosses, the Baroness and the Hive King. This dimension is very interesting and quite comprehensive. I'd guess, though I'm not sure, it was probably one of the first they made. Given how complete it is, I'd venture to say that. How do you access the Iron Mine dimension? It's this dimension here. To access it, we need to reach Barathos first, and we'll need a blank reamstone. If you don't mind, what we need to do is use a blank reamstone, which I just mentioned, in a mineralization station. And this will turn it into, let's see, this is the mineralization station. Right click and it becomes iron mine. Where can we find this station? It's quite simple. Basically, this station seems to have been removed. The item appears to be gone. I'm not sure if it can be crafted. It can't be crafted. It was a block that could turn gems into ingots and ingots into coin. It was there and it's probably still around. It says here it's been removed, but I still have it in my game. It's mainly found in the Barren Castle structure, which is this building here. It can be mined with a pickaxe. Basically, the Barren Castle is located in the Barathos dimension. So what can we expect from the iron mine in this dimension? Well, they've discovered various interesting structures, as we can see. It's a rather hostile dimension, to say the least. We have charging pads, Enforcer Tower, Metzian Temple, Aero Passage, and the Professor's Lab. Then we've got mobs like the Enforcer, Machacron, Metzamaton, and Metzion. All these mobs are hostile. We'd also have some NPCs to interact with, I assume. And finally, the boss is the Mex bot. How do we access Precasia and what can we expect? To enter this dimension, we need to gather saplings of all types found in the overworld, combine them with a blank realmstone, and craft our Precasia realmstone. Once we enter, we'll see what this dimension has to offer. You can expect to find a wide variety of structures. I won't go into detail about biomes, but there are many. This dimension is similar to the overworld, with diverse biomes as seen in the image. Structure-wise, we have the Precasia Lotohova, where Lotto Man appears for trading. These are the dimension's mobs, quite interesting, reminiscent of Axe's mods or Alexi's mods. Here we have the NPCs and finally the boss, the Tyrosaur. So that's how this dimension works. How does the Candyland dimension work? How can we access? Basically, this dimension. Let's see. To access Candyland, we go through the overworld to Precasia, then from Precasia to Candyland. So they're asking us to eat a heart fruit in Precasia. The heart fruit is this fruit here. It's definitely found in Precasia. We can confirm. I'll tell you exactly where to get it. The heart fruit grows from heart fruit. These seeds drop when breaking Tanglethorn with a 5% chance. Tanglethorns are found in Precasia. You need to break this thing here, which I think is just grass. Let's see. Tanglethorn. It's literally grass on the ground. You have to break. That's it. Okay, grow it, get the heart fruit, and eat it while in Precasia. This is how we'd access the Candyland dimension. What can this incredible and beautiful dimension offer? That's iron. This dimension features various structures like the Candy Lotto platform, Candy Tower, Gingerbeard, Gingerbread House, and Aviary, and a candy-infested ravine. Sweet stuff. The hostile mobs remind me of Adventure Time's Candy Biome. I hope it's based on that, because it's practically identical. We have the Airhead, the Candy Corny. These creatures existed too, right? Now I'm unsure if they're from Adventure Time or the Amazing World of Gumball. Honestly, I'm a bit confused. We have Canebag, Cherry Blaster, Gingerbeard, Gingerbread Man, Lollipopper. All of these are hostile mobs, by the way. So when you see them, be careful. For passive mobs, we have these chubby ones. The snail, this one here. We also have some NPCs, and the boss is Cotton Candy. So that's all we can expect from this dimension. How do we enter the Gardenia dimension? Basically, you enter through the Precasia dimension. What can we do in this dimension? What's there? It tells us that to enter, we must... What do we do? While in Precasia, throw a blank realmstone on a fully grown carrot crop. This spawns a primitive carrot top. Kill it for a Gardenia realmstone drop. The carrot would be this, and the carrot top, I think, I'm not sure which is which. Theoretically, do this in Precasia and Precasia. Let's go to Precasia. We should make a crop. Wow, that's quite a task. I'll do it for you guys. How do I do it? Dirt? Bring my own dirt. Just kidding, not that. Let's get some bone meal. I'm just blindly trusting here. We throw this... Oh, a primitive carrot top spawns. I kill it, and there it is. It drops the Gardenia realmstone. Incredible. This is how we can access it. Live and direct, so you can't say I don't treat you well. So what do we find in Gardenia? Well, we find a variety of structures. It's a rather strange dimension. We find the Daisy Flower, Floro Castle, and of course Garden Castle. When we talk about castles, we mean larger areas with their own rooms, mobs, and loot. We'd have the Lotus Sky Tower, the Wizard Flower. As for mobs, we find all these hostile ones, all related to crops. No passive mob, so everything will attack you except this amazing Floro Lotterman. This guy here, right? Finally, we have the boss, the Vinocorn. That's what you'll find in the Gardenia dimension. How can we access the Elevorian dimension? And what can we expect from it? Basically, to access Elevorian, we'll need a blank realmstone, and we should go through Precasia, Candyland, and Gardenia dimensions, and finally reach Elevorian, where they tell us, let a Gardentian creature, that is, a hostile mob from Gardenia, soak in candied water, then kill it. Soak means, whoa, that caught me off guard. It means to get wet. Just let it get wet, okay? So we need to move a mob between dimensions, get it wet, and our blank will become the Elevorian realmstone. So what can we expect from this final dimension? This dimension has various structures, each with its own areas and mobs, except we have the Amphibite Cove, the Aquatic Castle, Draconic Gratian Fountain, and the Drowned Lotto Stand. Got it? All mobs are hostile, and as we can see, they're pretty buffed and quite cool. I'm not sure if I can show just the image, but check out this mod. Look at its model compared to others we might find. Most would be basic like this one. Well, this one here is quite detailed. The mod creator was really inspired that day. We have these passive mobs, though I said there weren't any. We've got the new Karate for NPCs, we have the Voric Lotto Man, and for voices we have two, the Corrales and the Dracion. It's funny how the Drashion looks like this, while a regular mob looks like that. I don't know, it's alright, I guess I won't judge. It's 21 dimensions after all. Try making that yourself. It's pretty good for what it is. How to access the Creponia dimension. This dimension is accessed through the overworld and tells us to survive a creeper's blast while an ATNT is about to explode nearby. So, while the creeper is about to explode, ignite an ATNT with a blank realmstone in your inventory, and this way we'd gain access to Creponia. You might ask, what can you expect from this dimension? Well, obviously creepers. It's a green, ugly dimension. So ugly you can't even look at it. Check out this video, it's incredible. What can we find or expect from this dimension? Well, we'd find various things like different structures, such as the Creeper HQ, which obviously should have a creeper face, otherwise it's not a creeper. We'd have the Creponia Bank, no creeper face here, they've let us down. The Creponian Lotto Stand and Explosive Towers. Obviously 100% of the mobs in this dimension are creepers, because otherwise this dimension wouldn't be called Creponia. And here we'd have them, right? Whoever approaches these, be careful, try not to let them explode in your face. Look, it tells us about the King Creeper here. It spawns naturally, but it's rare. Let's see, it seems like a pretty drop. Well, it's rare, but gives gunpowder, and that's it. I find this concept incredible. I find this idea amazing. We'd have cows that are obviously creepy cows. We have some NPC, which I assume don't explode. And finally the boss, which is clearly a creeper, right? It's called Creep. Pretty good name, huh? I really like this one. So, well, it spawns using an explosive gem on a creep altar. So yeah, that's all about this dimension. How do we access the box pond dimension? What can we expect from it? Well, to access the box pond dimension, first we need to enter Creponia, and what they're asking is that while we're in the Creponia dimension, we use a blank realmstone, which is this item here on a crypt banker. Still in Creponia, Lotto Man, or explosive. Let's see. Crypt banker. I mean, this guy, and nothing. I just clicked anyway. It was all fake. I just clicked randomly. On the other hand, the Creponia Lotto Man tells us, let's see, Creponia Lotto Man. Oh, right, because we should be... Sorry, I get it now. We need to be in Creponia. We must be inside the Creponia dimension. That's why it's not working. Okay, we're here in Creponia. Basically, any NPC that's not a creeper and looks human, you get it. Survival. Let's see. Will you do it or not? Theoretically. So, what we need to bring is this tool, this complete Hathmat armor, okay? What's this here? It's basically going to provide us with oxygen. I understand we'll need this armor to enter the box ponds dimension. Basically, we must wear this armor, which is crafted using an infusion table. The infusion table is made with materials from the overworld, okay? What we should do is interact with any of these companions by right-clicking, and there we'd have the box ponds. So once we have these items, I believe we'll go to the box ponds dimension. I understand that in the box ponds dimension, it'll be a bit radioactive. Let's see. Indeed, if you enter without this armor, you'll start taking damage, so be careful. And what can we expect from this dimension? Well, here we have the box ponds dimension. We'd find various structures, like a destroyed store, Lotto box tower, Boxulon platform, and a Nightwing platform, okay? With its own mob. These are all the mobs, okay? Quite hostilely, we'd find some NPCs and their void, which is the Boxulon. So that's everything explained about this dimension. How do you access the Mysterium dimension? To access this dimension, we must have previously entered the Creponia dimension. As you can see, it's part of the process. It says to kill a Criperd while poisoned. Truth is, the task is quite challenging. You have to kill this flying guy who obviously explodes. While poisoned, something must poison. I assume you poison yourself, and that's it. The blank Realmstone becomes a Mysterium Realmstone, allowing access to this dimension. This dimension here, let me start uploading for a moment. Right, everything's perfect. What can we expect to find in this dimension? We'll find various structures like Fango Shroom, Warp Pilot, Mushroom Spider Cave, different structures, all quite interesting and pretty cool. For mobs, we'll find many mushroom themed ones, including a rune golem. We'll meet various NPCs to interact with, and finally, a boss called King Shroom. So that's all about this dimension. How do we access Runandor's dimension, and what can we expect? What might we find? Well, to access this dimension, we must first enter Creponia, then Vox Ponds and Mysterium. So to enter this dimension, we need to be in the Mysterium dimension, which I've explained how to access in a previous video. While in the Mysterium dimension, we need to use an active runestone. The active runestone is this stone here. I'm actually going to go straight to the wiki to avoid having to search for things. The active runestone is obtained from the runic golem. We've seen the runic golem before in Mysterium. Placed in runic arenas, this structure here. You put the runic golem here, then when you make the runic golem activate those shields, it'll drop this rune. There's a cooldown of up to 6 seconds before it drops another one. Then we need to use this on a box light. I guess this is a light found in the box pond. There it is. You can mine it with any tool, but it must have silk touch. You have to do all this. Interact with the active runestone and a box light while holding the blank realm stone, which stores the realm stone, and a runic energy, which is this here. We can get runic energy by killing various mobs. We need to drop these two items on top of the box light. This turns the realm stone into a Runandor. What can we expect from this dimension called Runandor? Well, this dimension is quite interesting. Let's check if it's poisonous like its predecessor. It doesn't seem to be. Basically, we can expect various structures like in other final dimensions, as this is a final dimension. We have the run randomizer state, the runic tower, each with their own mobs and rooms, an arena, a cell, a room. These are some of the mobs, quite elaborate as we can see. Finally, we reach the final boss, which is the clunk head. So that's everything about this dimension. How do you access the nowhere dimension? You can reach this dimension simply by crafting this. Great, I love when it doesn't let me. Well, it won't show me the crafting recipe. Not sure if they removed it. Seems they've removed the dimension. Can't access it now. But in old versions, I haven't missed any of them. It was crafted with a nether star, void scales, recovery compass, redstone lamp, shulker, and blank realmstone. Void scales are obtained as drops from the ender dragon, charger, endermite, or fan. You might say pretty normal mod. Once you craft this, you can access the nowhere dimension. You'd say the dimension of nothing. What on earth could this dimension have? Well, if you expected anything other than absolute nothing, I think you got your hopes up. So that's it. A dimension where there's nothing. There's just this room here. In theory, there are different sections, like the parkour area. But in my version, the latest 1.16.5, nothing seems to generate. This is what we have here. And there doesn't seem to be anything else. I tried entering a portal and it wiped my entire inventory. So yeah, not much else to do here. I'm in adventure mode. That's how the game sets me up. When I exit, it returns my items, but yeah, you can't do anything, okay? Let's see if I can clear my inventory again so you can see. I entered the left portal and everything. There it is. It takes everything away. So that's it. This is how it works. This dimension. How do you get baronite? In Advent of Ascension, it's this orb here, the baronite. Basically, to get this orb, you need to go to the Barathos dimension. It's found between heights 23 and 36. That's where we need to look for it. This orb. How do you get Bazium? It's this ore here. It looks pretty nether-like, right? You might mistake it for nether gold nuggets, but it's not. This ore here gives us Bazium ingots. So how do we get it? Well, you find it in the Barathos dimension, between Y level 0 and 21. How do you get Barsium? Barsium is an ore found in the Barathos dimension. We can smelt it to get Barsium ingots, which are used in the infusion table to craft various tools. You can find it in Barathos between Y levels 23 and 64. How do you find Bloodstone? Bloodstone is obtained from this ore, which requires at least a netherite pickaxe to mine. It's quite important. Once you mine this ore, you can smelt it to get Bloodstone, used to craft a distorting artifact and the Blood Lurker, which is an excellent sword, and a few other artifacts. So how can we find it? It's found in the Abyss dimension at Y level 64. How to get any type of gemstone? Okay, these are the elements here. The gemstone. As you can see, there are 6 types in 6 different colors, all found in the same dimension, which is the Crystalite dimension, from height 5 to 140. As for their uses, they don't have any crafting recipes, so I'll assume they're used for trading, right? Because if they don't have any crafting use, well, that's how we can obtain these gems. How can we obtain the different bone fragment ores? We have the skull bone, leg bone, foot bone, and chest bone. All these bone elements are found in the Precasia dimension from height 80 and below. The best height to find these fragments would be at level 16. So, well, these ores can be used to obtain these fragments here. The bone fragments open up a whole world of calcium-based crafting. As we can see, each ore has its own crafting recipes and results. So I think they're more or less the same, right? I mean, the result is the same, I believe. That is, they all have somewhat similar functions. Maybe I think that, yes, they all have the same function. Some are used to make chest plates and others to make... The foot bone, for example, would be used to make boots. The leg bone would be used to make leggings. How do you obtain a charged Runium chunk? This item here looks like this. You get it with a diamond pickaxe. You need to mine it with a diamond pickaxe. And it's found in the deep lands between height 70 and 114. Basically, the purpose of this item is to craft things like magic enhancers, get charged runes, make various enhancers, or create different items such as the complete nightmare armor set. So yeah, that's how you get it. How to get crystalite. It appears in the heaven dimension at height 3069. Basically, if we check the guidebook, we can see you need an ice pick to mine this element. Melt it to get crystalite if it's not dropped direct. Crystalite is used to craft the celestial staff, the racker, and other extremely powerful items. On the infusion table, it can create the creedwing table, giving 20% damage resistance. With a full set, you get complete fall damage immunity. That's how you obtain this valuable element. How do you obtain Jade? Jade appears in the overworld below Y level 10 and can be mined with an iron pickaxe. This element, once obtained, has various utilities and tools we can craft with it, such as the Goofy Great Blade, which deals 23 damage right off the bat. A Jade Sword deals 8 damage, which is pretty overpowered. We can also craft tools like the Slash Sniper, Gas Blaster, and various armor pieces, all using just Jade. So that's how this mineral works in the game. How can we obtain limonite? It's mined from limonite ore using a stone pickaxe. In version 1.16.5, this ore spawns in the overworld at level 0 and above. Its main use is crafting bullets, as we can see. It's also used for making various sticks and small items. It's used for crafting scrap metal and many other things like armor and different weapons. How do you get the Runium chunk? It's crucial for accessing a dimension I can't recall right now. Basically, this Runium ore mined with an iron pickaxe gives us the Runium chunk. With this, we can create any type of enhancer. As I mentioned, Runium is I just can't remember which dimension it was. I don't want to misspeak, but it lets us access one of the initial dimensions. Oh, wait a second. We need Runium for craft. Now I remember. The carved rune power. To make the empowered rune, you need the Runium chunk. With this, the rune of power and other items, we can create portals to dimensions. So you can imagine how vital this element is. The whole mod revolves around this element. You get this early on, then rarely use it again. How to get the LCA, which has tons of utility and really cool features. There's a sword that blocks 25.5 damage. That's insane. As you can see, it lets us infuse to get its armor, tools, and ranged weapons. You can find these in the rune dimension from levels 1 to 34. How do you get the Emberstone ingot? You mine this stone here, which requires at least a diamond pickaxe to break. With this ingot, like most artifacts, we have the mending table, likely used for repairing tools. We also have infusion, giving us access to many weapons and interesting items. You can find this element in the nether, between layers 3 and 32. How can we obtain Creponia, or rather geminite? It's this element here, mined with a diamond pickaxe, found in the Creponia dimension between heights 21 and 37. Basically, geminite is used to craft items like the Cripoid Great Blade, which explodes on a powerful strike. We have explosive gems and infusions too. As you can guess, it's all explosive, making it a fascinating element in the Creponia dimension. How do you obtain Jewelite? It's found in the Creponia dimension between heights 21 and 37. This ore can be mined with a diamond pickaxe and is used in various crafting recipes such as the Cripoid's Great Blade, explosive gems, and different infusion craft. Jewelite needs geminite to work, so get both from the same heights in Criponia. How to get the 1000 Furnace. This rare item is mined with a diamond pickaxe. It drops a special resource used for crafting various tools. As we can see, we can also infuse it to create unique tools. These 3 minerals, including Yemen, complement each other for combined craft. They're all found in the crypto dimension between Y levels 2 and 15. How to get the ghastly ingot? Break this element with a netherite pickaxe. Smelt it to get the ghastly ingot, used for infusing various interesting mod elements. Found in the greckon dimension between heights 28 and 58. How do you get Ghoulish? Ghoulish is mined with a netherite pickaxe in the greckon dimension between heights 0 and 28. And with this ingot, we can craft a hunting bow, moonlight staff, and other really cool tools, as we can see. How do you obtain lion ore? You get it from its ingot. Lion ore has its own sword and tools, which can be used to craft various items, tools, and armor. It's found in Iron Man's dimension, below Y level 64. To mine misty ore, you need at least a drive pickaxe. This ore is used for crafting various armor sets, mystique lamps, and decorative blocks. You can find it in the Mysterium dimension below Y level 100. How do you get the Shyre gem? This item here, obtainable with a netherite pickaxe, is basically acquired by, well, it gives us access to many tools, as we can see, and various types of armor. This element is found in the Shyrelands dimension between heights 65 and 104. Shires is a resource found between heights 65 and 104 on Neria's Peak Island. It's used to craft various tools, armor, and ranged weapons, making it quite valuable. I've covered how to get all the ores in different clips, showing how to obtain each one and their uses. But this mod is constantly developing, and I don't want to leave you unsure about how to get any ore, so I'm leaving a link in the description below, okay? It goes directly to the mods wiki. You'll enter the blog section there, alright? In the blog section, there's a 1.4 entry called ore. Go to 1.4 comma, and you'll find all the ores in the mod listed. I've covered all of them, okay? But they might add more or remove some in the future. So I'll leave the direct link there, which should take you straight to the ores. That's how we can get info on any. For example, let's look at baronite, which I covered earlier. Click obtain, and it tells you baronite needs at least a diamond pickaxe. Where's it found? It generates from height 23 to 36 in baronite in the Baratos dimension. That's it. Simple as that, okay? So yeah. How does the Archmage enchantment work? Basically, Archmage is for staves elements. Theoretically, there are over 50 staves elements. When I search for staves, I only see these. We'll obviously trust the wiki on this. These elements As you can see, if I hover over them, it says staves require 1 rune of each type. It's insane. It needs 1 rune of each type to function, I guess. And on top of that, the runes will be consumed, meaning they'll be used up. So what does Archmage do? Well, Archmage basically reduces the rune cost by 1 rune per level. In short, for tools using rune, Archmage lets us use fewer runes or get more out of. How do you get this LL? Oh, look, all the compatible elements are shown. Forget about all staves use rune. Now we understand better. I hover over it. Staves need 2 wind, 1 kinetic, 4 water. And you're like, yeah, right. So you enchant it, theoretically reducing rune costs. Honestly, I don't see much reduction. I've been scammed, but that's what it's supposed to do. Let's not nitpick here. Maybe it uses fewer, etc. Whatever. So how do you get this book? Basically, at the in-buying table, that's where you find it all. Durability and magic and answer. Jmod shows how to get it. So yeah, that's how it works. How does the Bray enchantment work? It's basically for tools like rifles and such, okay? So let's look for rifles and this element. Boom, boom, boom. Let's try, well, nothing. It's not working. There it is. What does this enchantment do? It turns a tool into something else. It turns a gun into an offering. In the past, I could shoot. Let's see how to fire this thing, man. I used to shoot this, but now it only works from my left hand. To fire it, I have to hold it in my left hand. No exception. If I put it in my right hand, it doesn't work, okay? Keep that in mind. Pretty interesting, to be honest. How does the control enchantment work? It basically goes up to level 3. It's an well, it says it right here. It reduces weapon recoil. Got it? You apply it to any firearm using the enchanting table. This way you'll get less recoil. How it works isn't an enchantment, it's a curse called Curse of Greed. Basically, you can't craft it, okay? You get it if you're really unlucky. It applies to any long-range tool or gun, increasing rune costs and making guns use extra ammo. For blasters, it makes them use more energy, got it? Blasters are these items here. I assume they use my body's energy. Right now I have 7 energy. Here? My energy's at 200. I guess this curse would make them use more, right? Well, it's a pretty nasty curse if you get it. What does the form enchantment do? It goes up to level 3. It's an enchantment that reduces pellet spread on shotgun. Normally, when you fire a shotgun, the pellets spread out. This enchantment tightens that spread. Obviously for shotgun. What does the intervention enchantment do? This enchantment applies to pickaxes, shovels, armor. It applies to everything, right? Basically, it prevents users from losing inventory items when they die. The chance of losing the enchantment with each activation. There's a small chance that every time you use it, the enchantment will be lost. It's a one-time use enchantment. How does the recharge enchantment work? It goes up to level 5 and is mainly for shotguns and pistols. You use the imbuing table for it, and basically it reduces energy consumption of blaster. Let's see if I can find a blaster. Ah, there it is. To show you, I'll grab a blaster in survival mode and start firing. Let's see. This one didn't work. I used one earlier that did work. Some blasters use energy from your body. Ah, that one did it. See my energy bar here? Well, this blaster, hope it works, okay? This blaster is draining my energy. There goes the energy. Recharge reduces this energy consumption. I'd like to know the exact percentage. It seems quite useful. Let's check the wiki for recharge, and the percentage is 7% per level for each level. With level 5, we could save up to 35% energy. That's not bad at all. How does the Sever enchantment work? It goes up to level 5 and applies to melee weapons. This is how you get it. Basically, it improves damage dealt on critical hit. So, when we land a critical hit, it will... What did you say? Right, it increases the damage dealt. It adds 3.5% more damage per Sever level. At level 5... That's a 17.5% damage boost. Seems small, but if you deal 20 damage, that's 3 more points. Sorry, crits do double damage. So if your weapon does 20, you do double. I think that's how it works. Let's say a crit does 40 damage, okay? So 20% of that would be 8 extra damage. 17.5% would be 7 extra damage. So you're dealing 7 more damage. Not bad. How does the shell enchantment work? Basically, this enchantment increases the damage dealt by gun. It crashes in this way. Let's see exactly by what percentage it increases the damage. It appears to be 10% for each level of shell. There are 3 levels, so you can boost damage up to 30%. Well, the advent of Ascension mod has tons of content. I've made a guide covering the most important aspects, just skimming the surface. It covers essential things like how to enter dimensions, how they work, what structures generate, and what mobs you'll find, all the ores, all the books, okay? In my guide, I've tried to cover everything briefly without making it too long. I saw a guy with 30 videos, 30 minutes each. That's 15 hours explaining the mod. Obviously, he's not getting to the point at all, but how to avoid that? Well, wasting time trying to find precise information. I'll make more videos explaining how to find different bosses, etc. But I won't explain it in this guide because it would never end. So I'll show you how you can do it yourself, okay? So in the description, I'll leave you a link. It'll take you straight to the mod's full guide. If we open the mod's stats menu here, it's in help. Clicking official wiki takes us to the official wiki. Here are a couple of important notes. For 1.16.5, that's what I recommend. Here's info on modifying the wiki, and so what we want is at the bottom. In mod edition, I've explained dimensions in this wiki. All dimensions, structures, and mobs in there. But let's say you're in the Baratos dimension. I've seen this guy's wiki that explains things really well. Still, I want to check out the mobs set to learn what the cryptid does. I open the cryptid page. From here, it says cryptids appear at height 27 in the Baratos dimension. Their drops include a sharp claw and other. Let's say we want to know about some armor. We enter the armor set. Obviously, I won't cover things that don't make sense. For example, let's say we're going to craft something. I'll search for some armor here, some unusual armor. The Nethinjake helmet. So we go to the armor section, we go to armor here. We do Control F. On Mac, you'd use Command F. We search for Nethinjake. The armor appears there. Here's all the info about what the armor does. We open this section and click on obtaining. How do we get this armor? We go to Nethinjake B. It says we get it by killing this boss. In this case, this armor was a poor choice. Let's look at the Omni armor. What I wanted to show you is that if we go to obtaining, there it is. Here it says you can get it through crafting or trading. They're making fun of me. I want one that can be crafted. Please. Now they can't be crafted. They show us the crafting recipes here. Let's say we have no clue how to get dense rock. I won't make a video on getting every game item. It'd never end. So the dense rock. We click on dense rock. It says here dense rock is a deeplands ingredient. You get it by killing these mobs. All mobs and items are explained in the wiki. Just search for it. With that, I conclude this super wiki guide.